We're back, and you know what? I'm going to ask you to introduce our author, who tonight I understand, is going under the moniker Monica Ferris.
You know, this is, I think, really funny. You are a crime writer who has so many aliases.
If I ever get arrested, I'm in big trouble.
I want to see your rap sheet. Monica Ferris, alias Mary Monica Pulver, alias Mary Kufald, alias Monica Fraser, alias Margaret of Shaftesbury.
Yes, Margaret of Shaftesbury was a nun who was in charge of Dear Abbey in the Society for Creative Anachronism.
That was the first book that I came to of yours. It was Murder at the
War. Yeah.
Loved that book.
Well, thank you.
Loved Peter Brick.
Yeah, I still like it. Poor Peter Brichter. Yes, yeah. He was a poor, sad character in some respects. He was hard-boiled. You should have seen my spell check, because you can add words to your spell check, you know.
Sure.
And there were some gangsters in that book, and as you pointed out, they don't say shucky darn. And so I had to add these words. And I checked my spell checklist one time, and I was just horrified, you know.
All the bad words.
Oh, terrible, terrible language.
Tell us just a little bit, to begin with, how the Needlecraft series came about.
That was a really nice one, because I was asked to do it. I'd been writing the medieval series with Gail, and that broke up. Collaborations tend to do that. They're tough. And my editor, who was a needleworker, I think she was reading the Erling Fowler quilting mysteries.
Oh, sure.
And she said, well, why isn't somebody writing needlework mysteries? And then let's ask Mary Monica. She's not doing anything right now. And I was so flattered, I just said yes without really paying attention to what I was agreeing to.
Yes, but they've become phenomenal.
I know, it's just amazing. I think because I was so relaxed, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Okay. I seriously didn't. So I just created this fat, divorced lady who didn't know what she was doing.
Who's absolutely wonderful.
We can all identify with. Sure, I just figured somebody I'd like to spend an afternoon with.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. And Godwin, the gay guy, he just came out of nowhere. I don't know exactly where he came from.
Do you do needle?
I do now.
You didn't before?
I thought I did, but I really didn't.
Oh.
Are you good at it?
No.
Okay.
I'm absolutely terrible. I'm the world's slowest stitcher.
Okay.
I'm stitching something for my editor right now as a gift, and it's taking me forever.
Is this the newest book?
This is tie-dye, yes.
Okay.
It is the newest book until this fall.
Okay.
And then
and this is what in the series? What number?
This is number 12.
Lovely, lovely cover.
Isn't that a gorgeous cover?
Really good covers.
Great covers.
Yeah, I've got it. My editor is phenomenal. That's
What's
why the
your
gift.
Press?
Berkeley Prime Crime.
Berkeley Prime Crime.
Yeah.
So, weigh in on our discussion of...
On the discussion, I think that the noirs and the hard-boileds tend to have a rough and ready kind of justice. And sometimes they're sort of depressing, because at the end justice doesn't really happen. Whereas the cozy or traditional, that's one of the points of it, is that at the end order is restored, the bad element is removed from the closed society, and things can go back to where they are. And so I think that's another major difference in the two of them, in the three of them, the four of them, you know, however many. But there's overlap, there's a constant overlap. I think the John D. MacDonald series, for example, were hard-boiled, very violent, and yet there was a very strong moral undertone going on in those things.
But isn't that true? Most private detectives, the white knight concept, the idea.
Exactly. In fact, he used to even refer to himself as a white knight.
Sure.
Spavin, he said, but still white knight.
that they're battling not only the bad guys, the thugs, the mafia or whoever, but they're also battling corrupt society and corrupt law enforcement and people like that.
Right. There's a very cynical and dark attitude towards them. And see, that's what's lacking in the cozy. I write on the extreme sweet end of the cozy. I do needlework in cozy.
But now the Murder at the War.
Yes.
The Peter Brichter series. You know, I often use that book when I'm teaching, because I think it's a very instructive book, and there are some things that I point to in that book that I love to talk about. But at the beginning, I think, is just phenomenal. But are those still available?
Yes, the Murder at the War has come out in a new edition. A local small publisher has brought it out, but under that title. FTL Publications is doing it. The others are all out of print now. They're hard to find.
That's too bad. That's hard.
I agree.
So you've written cozies, you've written more hard-boiled, and you've written historicals.
Yes.
So was that a hard transition between those?
No.
And is there a preference that you have in terms of what you've written?
Well, I think the cozy is probably because I'm more comfortable with this. In fact, I would think I would find it hard now. Though I put a little bit of an edge on Black Work, which is coming out. It's about a witch. Yes, but she practices Wicca. But her herbal preparation is beer.
Oh.
The opening of this book is really terrific.
Is that right? You've read,
we've read it.
You're in the writer's room.
I want to, before we go too much further, there's one thing that I want to get in because I think it'll be of great interest today for a lot of authors, and that is how you personally, since we all know we all have to do a lot of our own marketing, how you're marketing the knitting series, the needlework series. The needlework series. Sorry.
I went to Nashville, for example. Nashville is a TNNA, National Needlework Association, shop owners, people, and they have a market every year in Nashville. And I went there this year. This is my third one, and I go and I walk around carrying the book, smiling at everybody.
Wow.
And sometimes they'll even arrange a signing. They didn't this year, but I'm hoping that next year they will actually arrange a signing.
In one of your books, a murder takes place at this.
At this thing. Well, I knew as soon as I walked in, it said an Embassy Suites. You know, they've got that railing.
The railing.
The railing's on. I just, lift and drop. I mean, it was a murder. It was a murder waiting to happen.
The image. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's what happens when well, you probably all are familiar with the feeling. You automatically, when you walk into a new situation, okay, where can we hide the body? Where are the pressure points? What could start a quarrel that could end murderously? This is something that happened.
But you spend a good deal of your time visiting needlework shops, signing needlework shops and things like that, don't you? As opposed, say, to traditional bookstores.
It's a built-in audience.
It is, and I sold far more out of the needlework shops than I have in the bookstores. So
is that right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Way more. It's just amazing. I will go to a needlework shop, and it's not unusual to sell 25, 30 books in an evening. We're in a bookstore, 10 is pretty good.
I think Cork O'Connor is going to take up needlework.
I think he better. Yeah, something
of that nature.
Well, it's the murder and connection, which I think is very important. And it was happenstance. This is all just something that just sort of fell into my lap because, like I say, that she came to me about it, and the few needleworkers I talk to are all liars. It's easy, It's just something I do to keep my hands busy.
Sitting around.
Liars.
Drinking your G&Ts.
Yeah, if you can count to 5, you can do heart anger. That's not true.
I want to know about the hats.
True.
Where did you have so many amazing hats?
It's a signature.
It is. That's what I'm hoping to make it.
When did that start?
I went to a Malice Domestic.
Okay.
Oh, God, back when I was still writing the Peter Brichter series.
Okay.
And there was a woman there who had selling antique clothing. And some of the people who came were big time into that. So, it got to be kind of a thing that we were buying hats and Victorian whites because they had a tea party.
This one is wonderful.
I love this hat. I got this one there. This one is probably almost as old as I am.
How many do you have?
I'm not sure anymore. We moved and I had to downsize, but I still think I have around 35.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I know.
I've never seen you in the same one twice.
Oh, well, I do sometimes I'll get a favorite.
Yeah.
I've seen you. I've probably seen you more than Ellen had, I guess, because I can recall seeing you in the same hat more than once.
Yes.
That's my claim to fame.
Seen me? Oh, that's probably true.
Do you wear hats to group? I mean, when
no.
No.
We've seen what her hair looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's getting thin. The hat's getting a big disguise.
Your titles. Your titles are great, and somehow they all manage very cleverly to tie into whatever you're dealing with. Cruel World, tie-dye, black work, and those are all things that deal with needlework or with fabric or whatever. Does the title come to you before the story, or
usually, very often?
And does it dictate to a certain extent, as sometimes Ellen
you do
does?
that. You found that too, yes. And if somebody asks me to change a title, it'll change the book on me.
I just had that happen. I've never had that before. I'm still reeling.
Yeah, because it's very distressing. Because it does probably more than you know.
Yeah.
Probably more than you know.
Yeah.
I have a standing offer of a free book autographed to somebody who can give me a title I can use because I'm starting to run out of ideas. Somebody gave me Buttons and Bones.
Oh, that's good.
And I loved it, and I carried it around for a long time, but I couldn't figure out a way to use it until somebody told me about a cabin she has up in Cass County that had a hidden trapdoor in it. you know, she took up the carpet and found a hidden trap. And I said, what was down there? And she said, oh, just some trash. And I said, no.
Probably
No.
Buttons and bones.
Yeah. Oh, that
But
is
see, so it just came together.
very resonant.
So,
Well, we're done.
Oh my
I
goodness,
still have
that
more
was much
questions.
are we
fast.
done?
We're done. You know, what can I tell you? We could carry on for much longer. And you know
Yes.
what?
Yes, we could.
We'll have you back.
Thank
How's
you.
that? You're
I would
welcome.
love to come back.
You were great.
Appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here.
You
But
guys
for
were
now,
great.
But for now, have a look at some of Miss Ferris's books, titles, and they're available at bookstores all over the country, right? And in needlecraft shops all over the country as well.
Yes, that's true. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This was